Alright folks, yeah, I'm back on the GS and we're heading to look at some motorcycles, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I also this topic is going to be about how reliable and how how expensive the service is on this bike. Basically that's what's in the title, reliability and serviceability, and then a little bit of, which I didn't say in the title, some of the hate or the dislike towards this bike. And yeah, that's what we're going to talk about on the way to looking at some motorcycles. And what we're going to look at is, I'm looking for I think I talked about getting a Ducati, but that's just another street bike. I'm looking for a pit bike, and I'm not sure what to get. I was thinking of Grom. My buddy bought a Grom. It's a nice little pit bike, and a pit bike meaning that where I'm at the racetrack, I can just get around and just jump on my bike. You don't need a big bike. Is just kind of a pain to get on at the track, and because the track's pretty big and you got to run around and stuff. And I'm thinking maybe a dirt bike. The Grom, it's okay. It's a really good pit bike, really, but it's not good on the road. And if I'm at the track and I don't bring my big bike with me, and I just bring the pit bike. I'm thinking I want to get something that can go on the highway a little bit. Well, not highway, but just, be a little bit more comfortable when I'm taking it out, just to maybe go to the store or something like that. So, and then another thing I'm thinking is, I've been dying to do some off-road stuff, and I'm kind of tentative doing off-road with this bike. I guess because it's big, and I don't know, I don't have any off-road experience. Everything I've rode is in the street. I grew up in New York City. So, when you grow up in New York City, there's no off-road. Everything is pavement. So I only rode road bikes. So I'm thinking maybe I go for a dirt bike. They're not too bad. If I can get something in the mid 4,000 range, then that's something I probably would do. So I'm heading to this place called Ron Ayers Motorsports or something. He's about an hour east of me. So I figure, what the heck, I think he's got some in stock so I can look at, and maybe can sit on them, just kind of get a feel. I was yesterday, we were with my buddy, we were up in Raleigh, and we were looking at some bikes. He was looking to get a side-by-side, a Honda, a Pioneer, and so I was sitting on some of the bikes there. He didn't have the ones I wanted. But I did sit on the Honda. I think it was a 300, and it was all right. I'm looking for something that's not a killer seat height, because not that I really care about normal riding. I just want the bike to be just accessible when I'm popping on and off the pits and going to different people's pits and stuff like that, and hanging out with other racers or picking up parts and stuff like that. And I just don't want it to be so tall that it's just a pain in the ass to get on, in and off of, get on and off of. So that's what I'm doing now. So let's get back to the topic. So I don't understand some of the hate towards the bike, or the dislike towards the bike, as far as when they say it's reliability. The bike's not reliable. It's over-engineered. The bike is reliable. It's totally reliable. I've had it for 2 years. I've had no reliability issues. I did have a friend that had one that wouldn't start, and he put a new battery in it, and he just got more amperage battery. He thought that was the issue, and it solved his problem. Now, I don't know, maybe I think maybe the alternator wasn't putting out enough juice or something and charging the battery, so, maybe, I don't know. But that was an issue, and that's a reliability issue, and that's fair. I have no problem with that. But that's not the norm. I've had this I don't treat, I know when I'm riding, I'm pretty much calm, like right now, and I don't go crazy. But I beat the piss out of this thing on the road. I do crazy stuff with this stuff. I just don't show it on the video. And it's been totally reliable. It's been a. I don't think once, am I going to break down someplace, or am I going to be worried about it? I'm not saying it can't happen, but I think the norm is these bikes are reliable. And as far as serviceability, oh yes, it's 6,000 miles, and maybe that's a little bit too short, but it's very inexpensive. If you bring it back to the dealer, you're going to spend a little bit more money, but anybody who rides a bike should be able to change their own oil. Come on, folks. This thing is it's so easy to change the oil on this bike. So I don't really understand that where they say, that you don't want to service this thing. It's just not it's too expensive. It's overpriced. Yeah, it's a little expensive, but it's no more expensive than a high-powered road bike, like not like a Panigale or a Street Fighter, or you know, or Double R BMW, or any of the even the Kawasaki's, the H2s, they're all 20,000 plus bikes. You know, and you know, they say, oh, it's an old man's bike, only old men can afford it. Well, young men buy those other bikes too, and they're expensive. I mean, I understand if you can't buy it, you can't buy it. I'm fortunate enough to be able to afford the bike, but I understand it's hate. I don't know if people are just jealous, or it's just that it's not. I had to replace the tires. I'm going to go a little off. I had to replace the tires. It cost me $550. I didn't want to deal with the balancing and stuff like that, so I didn't do it myself. But that, when you see $550 for tires on this expensive and overpriced and over whatchamacallit bike, you know, as some people say it is, that's normal. Any bike is going to cost you that. Any bike will cost you that. And you know, it's so the maintenance for me, the serviceability is very easy to service. Now, granted, I just did my 12,000 mile service, and that's a little bit more involved. You know, you got to check the valves, you got to change the gear oil, which that was super simple too. The gear oil, I mean, filter, plugs. I did all that. It was less than $125 in parts. If you went to the deal, yeah, it probably would have been about $1,900, maybe a little less depending where you are. Yeah, so I understand that being expensive, but if you do it yourself, it's not expensive. And I think that if you're riding a bike, you should know a little about the bike. And it's like I said, it's not that hard to change the oil. So, as far as serviceability or expensive to service, it's no more than any other bike. That's what I found. I mean, my Triumph is a very inexpensive bike to service. It's nowhere near as high tech as this, but I don't spend any more money on the BMW. The Triumph is nice because it's 10,000 mile intervals. But having said that, you know, I don't know. Most people ride the bike more than 6,000 miles a year, or 10,000 miles a year, or whatever. This is 6,000 mile interval. I know I'm kind of all over the place here. You have to change it what I'm trying to get at is you have to change your oil yearly anyway. They don't want you. It's whatever comes first, 10,000 miles or 1 year. So I just don't see where these certain individuals come on and say it's too expensive, it's over-engineered, it's just not, it's too heavy for that. And I'm going to get to that in a second about the weight of the bike. With all that said, I don't think it's an expensive bike to maintain. Yes, it's a more expensive bike, but this is what you're getting. You get what you pay for. You know, this is it. I mean, this is the I guess it's the kind of a pinnacle of type of an adventure bike. You know, this and the KTM and the Multistrada and even the African Twin. All those bikes are great bikes. I don't have a problem with any of them. I'm not like, oh, you know, the BMW sucks. The KTM sucks. The Multistrada sucks. You know, the African Twin. I like them all. I wish I could own all of them. I love them all. I just happened to test ride this one and fell in love with it. So, you know, and this is from an average guy. I have no affiliation with anybody. You know, I did get a deal on the bike, but that's because it was a leftover and it had 200 miles on it. So I got to kill the deal. But I probably would have paid the MSRP if they didn't have it, because I was so impressed with the bike. Yeah, the bike is not, to me, it's the perfect bike. But is it the perfect bike for, how am I going to put this? Is it the perfect bike? It has shortcomings. Every bike has shortcomings. But to me, it is. If I just, I mean, I've owned it 2 years now, and I just love riding the bike. I always look forward to riding the bike. I haven't been bored of the bike. I'm bored of my Speedmaster, I'll have to be honest. I only like to take that on short trips. You know, I keep saying, well, you know, I might want to get rid of it. My friends say, you get rid of it, we'll never talk to you again. It's the coolest bike. You know, and it does have character and it's cool. But I'm not to have that thrill anymore than when I first got it. This bike's 2 years. I still have a thrill riding the bike. I'm not bored of it yet. And I like new things and I like to change all the time. But I'm good. And I just love this bike. And yeah, it has shortcomings. No bike is perfect. But I think, is it overhyped? Yeah, maybe it's overhyped. But I don't see anybody that's going to be disappointed. I just don't see it. I just don't see how you can be disappointed on a bike. And it's funny because I pulled up to a, I know I've went off topic. I wanted to talk about something else, but I'll get back to it. I pulled up to a stoplight. I'm just trying to figure out which way we're going. Okay. We pulled up to a stoplight, and there's a guy in an African Twin. He pulls up his shield. We got a lot of time to talk. BMW, I had a 1250 or 1200. I'm not sure which one he said he had. A lot of piece of junk. Always in the shop. Just, just garbage. It was overpriced and everything. I said, well, what do you think? I said, you got a cool bike right there. He goes, yeah, African Twin can do no wrong. It's the best bike ever. So much better than the BMW could ever be. I said, okay, great. I have no issues. I'm enjoying it, but I hope you enjoy your bike. I mean, he couldn't get the words out quick enough how much of a piece of shit the BMW was and how great the African Twin is. When somebody oversells the bike, you know what? I'm going to be accused of it. I'm overselling the bike too because I think it's great. But I have pointed out things like that I don't like about the bike. Very few, but I have. But he just went like overboard, like it's And I like the African Twin. I think it's cool looking, everything like that. I just never test rode one. So. But he seemed like he went out of his way to just say the bike is just not what people think it is, Did it have me turn in here? No. So that was an interesting conversation with that individual. And then when I go online, I've watched Revzilla. I think it's the guy Zach. He does a lot of road tests, and they're long road tests, but they're really, really in depth, and you really get a feel for what he's talking about, about the bike and stuff. And at the end, he likes to pick, let you know how he thinks of the bike, and he has like a chart or something, and he picked it out to be one of the best bikes at 12. He was obviously, I was watching it, he was doing a 1250, and he picked it at one of the best bikes that's ever, for what it is. And he was mentioning the same thing, that some people just are just so, I don't know, I guess when you're on the top, they're going to try to knock you down, And but I don't. But just getting back to the bike itself, it's not. I don't feel it's expensive. I don't feel it's hard to work on. I don't feel it's overpriced in the sense of what you get. I think it's just a good all-around bike, and if you can afford it, buy it. You will not be disappointed. That's all I can say. You will not be disappointed. If you get a lemon, you get a lemon. I feel bad, but that happens. But that does happen. We make things. They don't always turn out to be perfect every single. When they're coming off the assembly line, you're going to have a lemon once in a while, and you're going to have issues. But I think on a whole, on the norm, I think it's a good bike, and I think you have a lot of fun with it. And I'm trying to go back to what I know I was rambling on. I wish I could replay this because I wanted to talk about something else with the bike, and I've completely lost my train of thought. So hopefully I can come back to it as I'm just bullshitting about going on to look at another bike or a pit bike. And just a beautiful day. It's December, mid-December. I think the 16th, 17th. Who knows? I don't. It takes a couple of days and stuff to do my videos, so they're not like, exactly the next day. But it's beautiful. We're in North Carolina. It's going to be 70 degrees. It's partly sunny out, and it's the winter time, and I'm just loving it, just riding. Me and my buddy went riding yesterday. It was really cool. I didn't video it, and I guess I should have. But, I'm always bitching that I can't go riding with anybody, so he was able to go riding, and we had a good time, just screwing around. Nothing, a little bit of hooligan stuff, but nothing crazy. And it was just a good ride. I just love doing that when I got a buddy that I can ride with. Guys, I remember what I wanted to say. Okay, the next thing that there was a complaint about this bike is weight. Okay, my bike weighs 550 pounds. I don't run with the panniers. If I did have them on, I would. It probably would weigh about 580, okay, or 590, whatever. But I don't. 550 pounds bike is not, to me, a heavy bike. To me, a heavy bike is the cruisers, which make up most of the bikes in the U.S. market. Whether they be Harley, Japanese, whatever. they're 800 pounds plus, 750 plus. That's a heavy bike. This is not a heavy bike. It's easy, it's flickable, it just turns right in. You just think about turning and it turns. It's just not. I just don't get it. I mean, that was like a dog leg, and it was just made it so easy. This is not a heavy bike, not a heavy bike at all. And yes, for off-road, it might be on the heavy side. Yes, it's probably 150 pounds heavier than let's say a KR 650, or I think that's what they call, whatever, that Kawasaki. That bike I would probably like to own because it looks like a tank that you can take anywhere, and it's not overly heavy. But it's not. If you're a proficient rider going off-road, this bike, I mean, I've seen tons of videos of guys just going absolutely crazy on this bike off-road with the right tires. So what are those guys? What is that? Just a made-up video, and it's not real? If you're proficient in riding off-road, this bike is fine. If you're not, I probably wouldn't recommend it because I don't want to ruin anything, and I am not. And I'll be honest with you, I'm scared to take it off-road because I'm afraid to drop it. I don't want to drop it and do any damage. That's why I'm looking to go get a dirt bike, because I want to get more proficient. I want to, not be as worried with the bike. I've been off-road with this just short distance, and it got sandy, and the bike started pushing. The front tire wouldn't go where I wanted it to go, and I got a little scared. I didn't know if the bike was going to go down. Now, I wouldn't have got hurt, and the bike probably wouldn't have got much damage because it was all soft sand mostly, and it mixed with gravel or hard-packed dirt. But I just didn't want to do it. So so it might be heavy for a novice rider, but a good rider, this bike is extremely well balanced. And like I said, 550 pounds. 550 pounds is not a heavy bike. Yes, I've talked about getting a 400-pound bike, Ducati, but that's just for my trailer, so it's easy to get in and out. But not for riding wise. This is absolutely. I don't feel uneasy with the bike whatsoever, maneuvering it on or off. So that's just my. Now, I guess if you're a little smaller, it might be much. I mean, I'm 5'11". I'm not a big dude. 31 inseam. I mean, I'm just an average guy. I think you guys mentioned my weight in the past. I lost a ton of weight, guys. So I was at 200 for such a long time, and I don't want to go off topic, just for health reasons, I just wanted to feel better. And I didn't have any major health problems. I just wanted to feel better. So I just decided to eat well, because doctors just want to give you a pill, and I don't want a fucking pill. Nutrition to me is probably more important. So I started eating well. All the discomforts I had went away, but I lost like 35 pounds. So I'm at 165. So I'm just an average dude, and the bike is not overwhelming to me whatsoever. So the people that say that it's just a pig overweight wise, well, I just think you're just not. You just don't realize you've never taken the bike for a ride. And if you have, you just don't have the experience. Maybe you shouldn't be on it for off-road. So that's it. So those are my things about I want to talk about the people that dislike this bike so much. Yeah, we got a biker way up there. I love all bikes. I just love them all. I have no bone to pick about any bike. I see a good rider, I'd love to talk to about his bike, why he has this bike. I don't care if he's on a scooter or trike, whatever. I just love to talk about stuff with engines in it. And I think all bikes are cool. All of them are cool. And like I said, I don't get why people get visceral about it, and even sometimes they hate about it. Come on, guy. We're just out here having fun on a motorcycle, you got a piece of shit BMW, you got a piece of shit whatever, and just, what is that? Why? I don't know. Whatever. So that's it for that, and you know how I feel about this bike. I think it's dependable. I think it's easily serviced. The only thing is, yes, it is a little more expensive than maybe a Japanese type, but not much more, maybe 3,000 or 4,000, but that may mean a lot to some people, not to others, whatever. So that's my shtick. So anybody who thinks I'm wrong, well, you know what? I got two words for you, but I'm not going to say them, but you know what they are. All right, so back to where we're going. So this is Ron Ayres, or Ayres, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Ayers, whatever. I was terrible in school. So he's supposedly got a bunch of kind of dirt bikes that I'm looking for, or as I call them, dual sports, or not as I call them. They're called dual sports, and as I call them, they'll be my pit bike. And so I'm just going to go look at them. I don't know if they'll let me video inside. I'll try to video some stuff inside if I can. and because I always like looking at bikes. I love it when people are, go for a ride and then they just meet up with a bunch of guys and then video other people's bikes, see what they've done and stuff. I just love that stuff. Let's see, 7 miles away, about 10 minutes from looking at some different bikes. I kind of hate going into these dealers and stuff because I just kind of want to buy everything. I just like all the bikes. I haven't met a bike I didn't like. So, put the shield down. Yeah, so enough with the complaining, I guess, about me complaining about people that are complaining. So I guess I'm complaining about complaining. So I guess we all complain, right? I mean, that's just human nature. And you're never going to please everybody. Just you want to hate, you can hate. I'm okay with that, Boy, did that guy? Oh, that guy must know the road because he went close to the other side. Yeah, so that's it. So that's it, guys. So what we're going to do is just another 5 miles, and I said that's it, right? We're going to be done with the GS. I know I'll be back on another video praising how much I love the bike, and there'll be that guy out there saying, he's blah, 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 he's a fanboy, he's not really giving you his true feelings. I'm not getting paid by BMW. Nobody's giving me nothing for free to say this. They might say, well, you just spent a lot of money, you just want to justify what you spent. So, blah, 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 blah. So, it's a great bike, guys. Great, 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 great. Alright, I guess enough of that because you can only hear so much of that. I hope these bikes are pretty cool. The problem is when you get to these places, they show them online, but when you get there, there's nothing in stock. That's the biggest issue today, is that the bikes, there's nothing in stock. Major highway. So it's up here on a major road. I think this is 33. So this might be it. On there. That's it. That's it. So we're just gonna. Yeah, destination's on the right. All right, guys, this is it. I don't know what kind of stock they're gonna have, and I don't know how. They don't look busy at all. So we're just gonna pull up into this nice little spot. Looks like they have a lot of side-by-sides, which is what my buddy's looking for. And alright, that's it, guys. So we'll see if we can oh, there's a lawnmower. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's cutting the grass by itself. That's weird. Oh, the bikes are parked over there, but I parked over here. So I guess it really doesn't matter, does it? But maybe I should go over there. Alright, guys, we'll get some photos inside, hopefully. Alright, guys, this is what I've been looking at. You tell me if it's good, you tell me if it's not. This is a little bit too big for me because it's just 450. This is really what I was looking at, an XT Yamaha, but this one's sold. Price is right, like 52. But I kind of like this one, and if I want to go off-road, I can just put some off-road tires on. It doesn't have the big tires on it, but it's pretty cool. They want 61 for this one, though. It's kind of pricey, but it's really a cool bike. Really cool. So I just got to make the decision. But my name is on the list to get for that XT and a 230. I was looking for a Kawasaki 230. So.
Chris, FYI.
Alright, guys, this is the place. Lots of inventory, tons of inventory, but nothing what I want. Alright, guys, we're outside, so I'm surrounded by a USA and a Gixxer. Looks like pretty. It's beautiful. I love the color. Another Gixxer. These are young dudes, and these bikes are cool. One's a 750, the other one's 1,000. This 1,000's a beast. And then we got this old man's bike here, and this place is pretty cool. They got some good stuff. They got decent inventory. Not everything I wanted, but They got some cool little bikes. I was thinking they had this 140. I don't know. It's kind of made in Japan. SSR. Kind of a cool off-road bike, nice pit bike, but there's no lights and stuff on it. But it's cheap, and I think it would be great for off-road. It's super light. I think it weighs like 190 pounds. It's kind of a cool bike. But all right, guys. So we'll get back on the road and start talking about. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Kind of cool though, guys. Nice.